The first thing I want to make in the fall, when the weather starts changing, and it starts getting cooler, much cooler, is chicken pot pie. I mean, you can make it any time of the year, but it's so nice to have it in the fall. I'm going to start with about a half a cup of bacon and just chop it up. This is going to get your oil, some grease into that pot. And I use a Dutch oven for this. If you don't have a Dutch oven, you need to get one because you can use it for so many things. I use it for soups, for pot pies, for chicken and dumplings, chili, so many things. And what I like about it is you can stick it right from the stove top into the oven. So you just want to add bacon to your pot and then just spread it around a little bit. So next I want to start with some celery. And then you just want to give it a chop. You want about a cup of celery. Now I use 3 large carrots and peeled. Make sure you peel them. And you just want to slice it into little rounds. So you want about 2 cups of carrots. Alright, now 1 large shallot. You can use an onion. Onions taste great in chicken pot pie too. In my house, the preference lies with my kids because if they won't eat it, then there's no point in making it. And you just want to roughly chop. You know when a dish starts with bacon, fried bacon, it's gonna be good. So I have these beautiful green beans that I just picked this morning from my garden. It's so nice growing your own food. Even if you only have a patio to spare, get a container of tomatoes. If you can only grow one thing, grow tomatoes. If you can grow 2, grow green beans. I mean, they're so delicious when they're homegrown. Alright, so got almost all my green beans chopped up. A couple more. I like my stews, and look at this one, still has a little tiny bean on it. I like my stews and chilies and pot pies. I like them very rustic. I like rough chopped vegetables, and I like a lot of vegetables. It's a good way to squeeze in vegetables with your kids too. If they're not huge on veggies, just stuff them in something that they will eat. Alright, so all this goes into the pot. Woo! Spilled the salt. And then you want to add it to the bacon. Whoa. That is sizzling in there. So you want to add some salt. Now I've got this thyme from my garden, my herb garden. It's also something you can grow very easily, even in small containers. And then you have access to fresh herbs, which is nice if you're into cooking and using herbs and stuff like that. Just gonna put that in the pot. Now once your bacon and veggies are kind of sauteed, you want to add about 3 tablespoons of flour. You're making a roux. It's going to thicken it up. So I made some chicken stock the other day, and I'm going to use, for my pot pies, the leftover chicken. I pour my broth right into the pot. Now you want to add some wine and then bring it to a simmer. And you know what? While you're at it, pour one for yourself. This is probably my favorite part. And you want to bring this up to a boil and then lower it to a simmer just so the wine can reduce a little bit. You don't want it to taste like wine. You just want it to enhance the flavor of what you have going on in there. Okay? Let's raise it up a little bit. Mix it up. And you want to have your oven preheated to 375. Which I don't. But I do now. Now once it gets thickened up, it's nice and thick, then add your chicken. Now some people like to use peas in their chicken pot pie, but I love artichokes, and I put artichokes, jarred artichokes in my pot pie. And a lot of my pasta, and into the pot they go. Okay, so now this is nice and thick, thickened up beautifully. Carefully, because these Dutch ovens are all cast iron, covered in enamel. Got my ramekins. I use 8-inch ramekins, and this is going to be for 6, but I'm going to do 4 right now. You just want to move your wine. You don't want any pot pie splashing in it. Just want to fill these, each ramekin up the good amount. Another way, if you wanted to make a double batch to save for a rainy day, just use an aluminum pie tin or even a baking dish and let it cool completely, and then stick it in the freezer with the pastry, the puff pastry, or the whatever dough you're using on top. Now I'm using phyllo dough to top. And you just want to make a little egg wash. I have this beautiful phyllo dough. And you can use croissant, pre-made croissant pastry, even in the can. You just want to cut these about the size, just enough to cover. So you can see it's a nice little square. And then sort of a system. You want to give it a little brush in between layers. I made baklava not too long ago, so I gotta use all my phyllo dough that I bought, a little extra. Just gonna pop them in the oven for about 45 minutes. Oh boy, do these smell good. So now they're nice and golden, they're bubbling hot, but I have got to try. Oh, this just is crispy. Oh, yeah. Delicious. Perfect fall comfort food. My kids are going to be so excited.